She had no business trips planned, so the receipt made no sense. My investigation led me to a heartbreaking discovery. Hey all, I'm a 34-year-old male, and I recently stumbled upon something that's shaken me to my core. My wife, who's 32, and I have been married for 8 years. We've always had what I thought was a strong bond. We have a close-knit circle of friends, and both of us have stable jobs. Life was running smoothly until I accidentally found a hotel receipt in my wife's purse. She had no business trips planned, so the receipt made no sense to me. And that's where my journey of doubt and anxiety began. Initially, I thought it could be a mistake or something innocent, but then I started recalling the recent changes in her behavior. She had been acting distant and more preoccupied than usual. I chalked it up to work stress, but now I wasn't so sure. I decided I needed to investigate further to uncover the truth. I shared my suspicions with a close friend of mine, a 36-year-old male, who advised me to dig deeper. He mentioned that sometimes things aren't what they seem, but it's better to know the truth. That gave me the push I needed. The first step was to confront my wife about the receipt. One evening, after dinner, I casually mentioned finding the hotel receipt. She looked startled, but quickly composed herself. She claimed it was from a business lunch she had with a client. Her explanation seemed plausible, but something in her eyes told me there was more to the story. I decided to dig deeper, without letting her know. I knew I needed help. I reached out to a 45-year-old private investigator. He was experienced and discreet, exactly what I needed. I handed him the hotel receipt and some other information about my wife's schedule. A few days later, he came back with some unsettling news. My wife had been meeting a mysterious man regularly at the hotel. He even had photos and recorded conversations to back it up. The photos showed my wife with a man I didn't recognize. They looked comfortable and familiar with each other. The recorded conversations were mostly mundane, but there was an undertone of intimacy that couldn't be ignored. My heart sank. I felt betrayed and isolated. I confided in my friend again, and to my shock, he revealed a secret he had been keeping from me. He knew about the meetings, but chose not to tell me to protect me. He said he hoped it was just a phase or something that would pass. His betrayal deepened my sense of isolation. Who could I trust if even my closest friend had kept this from me? Feeling lost, I decided to confront a 28-year-old female coworker of my wife, who I suspected might know more. She admitted to covering for my wife, but insisted there was more to the story. She said my wife had been reconnecting with an ex-boyfriend who recently resurfaced in her life. According to her, it was mostly emotional, not physical. She claimed my wife was confused and didn't know how to handle the situation. Each revelation felt like a punch to the gut. I had always believed in the strength of our relationship, but now everything seemed to be crumbling. I decided it was time to confront my wife with all the evidence. I showed her the photos and played the recorded conversations. She broke down and admitted to rekindling a past relationship, but insisted it never went beyond emotional infidelity. She explained that her ex-boyfriend had reached out to her a few months ago. They started talking, and old feelings resurfaced. She felt confused and didn't know how to handle the situation. She claimed she never intended to hurt me and was trying to figure things out for herself. Her confession left me torn. I was heartbroken, but also gained a clearer understanding of the complexities in our relationship. We are now at a crossroads, contemplating the future of our marriage. On one hand, I feel betrayed and find it hard to trust her again. On the other hand, I understand that emotions can be complicated and sometimes people make mistakes. We are considering counseling to see if we can rebuild our relationship, but I'm not sure if I can ever fully trust her again. I'm reaching out to you all for advice on how to proceed. Have any of you been in similar situations? What steps did you take? I'm torn between seeking counseling or ending the marriage. How have others navigated such emotional turmoil? Any advice or shared experiences would be greatly appreciated.